Welcome back to Kin in Line. I make this part 119. So I've used a nice limited palette to colour this sketch, also done on the PE beachfront in the mid to late 80s. This probably would have been done at Hobie Beach, where there were nice benches around for people to just relax. A more diverse palette here. You can just see the waves suggested in the background. Here, the large shape of this woman probably determined the fact that I was going to paint it more heavily, color it more heavily. Quite like that face. Just zoom in on it. And then a lighter touch, allowing the light to shine through. And if you've got a dog, you need to throw a stick for it every so often. And I think that's what these guys probably did. That guy looks like he's buried in sand. But it was probably just I only drew half of him, so upper torso. Here, just a few lines. I captured this woman doing something on the beach, and I quite like the fact I've just used blue with a hint of orange to sort of offset it. And a kid at play on the beach. The green setting kind of doesn't really reflect the beach. Neither does this, but I don't think anybody's going to complain. The costume here, I think they called them, what were they? Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, pretty revealing. It's just a V basically. And she hasn't got feet, but that doesn't really worry me because the lightness of the form kind of, it's almost like that Japanese thing where they enclose feet to make them smaller and smaller. So ultimately you don't need feet. So here we got a guy beavering away. It looks like a storm brewing, which often does in PE up towards the north, and rarely reaches our shores or the catchment. Yeah. A more painterly approach there. And here a lighter touch again, with the Hobie cat, with the sweep of the bay behind it. And then just some figures in the foreground here. Little child there. And a yacht as opposed to a Hobie cat, which has got two hulls and a yacht just one. But I don't know the various types of yacht, of course. And then this looks like some sort of military or naval vessel. That little wave in the foreground. And the other side of the bay is actually it rises quite steeply in places. The little wave in the foreground here. And now the uncoloured. The moustache is a giveaway here. don't mean to generalize, but I could almost certainly say he's a military or a policeman from the mid-80s. And these are lifesavers. So this was one of the types of boat they used for rescue craft they used in their training exercises and competitions. Now, it's only when you've had children that you realize how heavy a baby is. You have to carry him or her. And there is a child looking almost skeletal. Part of the joy of this sort of drawing is that the mere fact that it's impossible to capture the thing in a few seconds means that what emerges is a nice sort of exaggerated and distorted view of, and it's about the drawing. It's not so much about getting every pore in the right spot. Look at the movement in this thing. And a classic view. That's what dads have to do. I think I must have done at least half a dozen down the years of men or women walking kids like that. Then we're going to pull a vast switch. So I had this nice watercolor paper, and I decided to do these sort of semi-abstract landscape type things. And I always loved, as a child, American Indians or Native Americans and their wigwams and the feathered headdress that they wore. So this doesn't do it justice, but I sort of used the wigwam shape to create an abstract sort of design, I guess. And watercolor on oil pastel to give it that texture. This one kind of makes me think of Thatcher for some reason. Although the little dewlaps of the chin are quite sort of naughty. And this doesn't really work for me. Water jug, I can't remember where I sketched this. Glass, obviously. Then on another occasion, I must have had a bit of time on my hands, and I put together this whole series of minimalist kind of face, sort of abstract faces, quite like the eye. These all just came in a sort of inspired half an hour or so. Probably post first marriage, when certain things were on one's mind occasionally. to you about a bit of foxing there. And here's a weird character. Again, two faces there. One looking left, one looking right. And a kind of head on a boot, face on a boot. And a weird woman here. Not sure what's growing off her stomach. Maybe it's the other hand, other arm. This could almost be San or Bushman art. Look at the little smiling face there. Yeah, this was quite an inspired 25, 30 minutes. Maybe it was longer. All done without real premeditation. I think it just sort of, whatever the mood, however your mood takes you, you just go for it. Again, two faces looking left and right. And again, this seems to be my theme here for several of these. And then you start to come unstuck a bit, and I think that's what I did here. Totally different technique, might have been done on a different occasion. This is sort of African mask, I guess. And a smoking man, smoking gun. What are my animals with a human face? There's a tree with eyes there, looking out for this bird. Self-portrait as an old toppy. Love the tie. And we've seen this type of thing before. Then we get a bit ruder, different time, different paper, and African beauty. Nothing too rude, just textured paper. Oh. Okay, so there's another rather rude picture. And another. I was on a roll here. And that's me now. Finally, I've gone fishing. yeah, so we'll leave it with this fishing. See you next time. Cheers.